Everybody, another interview. I know you love them because you keep telling me you fucking do. Today we have, or this week, tonight, we have on Jonelle Brooks. Really excited to have her on. Thanks for being on.
Hey y'all, what's up? Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great. Been busy all day. Took a shower, got ready. I'm ready to chit chat with you.
Where are you at?
I live in Daytona Beach, Florida. Here in we're bike week and NASCAR and all that crap is.
It's fun. Are you into NASCAR?
No, I mean I grew up next to the racetrack in New Smyrna. That's where I grew up. It was like in my backyard because I lived in the country, but my dad and everyone else was into it, but I wasn't.
I love this. I want to talk about you, but before we
Okay.
do, people are probably wanting to know what it is that you do. So
What it
is it
is
that
that
you do?
I do?
Yeah, what is it that you do?
Well, I guess I do pornographic work. I think it can. Well, sometimes I mean, it can. It's not just all
Oh,
pornographic. I
that's
mean,
good.
it's not all pornographic. I do like to do like some nude shots as well.
So it's art
They're
then.
not.
I,
They're not.
for the record, I happen to be very pro pornography, so don't feel weird. I like art
Oh,
too,
I
so
don't
it's
do
up
it.
to you. I
I
know.
do not apologize for it. I mean, I love it.
Good.
I won't lie to you. It's great money. I mean, you can
It,
manage it well.
is if you can imagine, is there a specific type of pornography that you do?
That I do. I do tranny porn since I'm a tranny.
What? I love it.
So
I love
that's
it because that goes right into one of my questions that I ask performers that are on that are transsexuals. Is transgender transsexual the word that I'm going to use today? I get caught up in this one all the time.
I say I say tranny, but a lot of
Okay.
people don't like that. I
Right.
don't know. I tend to not be very politically correct. I don't know. It doesn't bother me,
Okay, great.
but
Because
I
that's my
guess
question. Does tranny bother you?
tranny doesn't bother me. No, I mean, what else would you call? Who's gonna say transsexual? That's a really long word. That's a lot.
I love it.
Tranny.
I've always wondered. I've had many trannies. I'm going to say tranny for the sake of this conversation. I know in others I would get in trouble, but in this one, I'm going to say tranny. I've had many trannies on the show, and I ask the question all the time, and I get both. I get I just don't like it, and amongst ourselves we use it. Amongst fellow trannies we'll use it with each other, but
Yeah.
not. It's not like a word that I like to hear from other people. So you're
I mean,
casual
I
with
don't
that.
want to hear like. I think shemale is more like icky than tranny. Like shemale is just like.
So is shemale the worst thing that someone could call you?
No, I mean it doesn't bother me, but I
Yeah.
mean it really doesn't bother me at all. But I would say that would be worse
Worse.
than
Yeah.
tranny.
I happen to agree. What is the worst word someone can call you? That like something that would bother you? Or are you just so don't care?
I really just don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm really comfortable with myself, so it doesn't. I don't really get bothered by all that crap.
Okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't bother me.
Well, I want to talk more about that, and then your pornography work, and your artistic
It
endeavors.
is artistic.
Oh, it is. I know it is. There is definitely
It's a hell of a lot of work.
right. Okay. So you did. Let's go back because I really think that this is cool. Most of the time, the people that I have, the trannies that we'll say trannies on our show, they all tend to be like in California or and this stuff threw me for a spin when I went to your thing and you're like, I'm Florida, NASCAR country. What as far as pornography workers? I get it. There's trannies everywhere. You can't. It's not like they're only a West Coast thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying is people in your line of work tend to be on the West Coast. So from what I've gathered,
Yeah.
why is it that you're not on the West Coast?
I hate it out there. I won't lie. I mean, I hate LA. I've flown out there many times to go and do work, and I just hate it. I hate it. I don't like big cities. It's dirty. I don't like it. The
So,
weather's cold. I don't want to be there.
so you grew up in a small town.
I grew up in a really small town, yeah. And I like that. I've always liked that. I don't like big cities. I will go and visit you, but not for very long.
I
So I
went,
just could never do it. I know I think.
I went to your website and I read your little About Me page, and you talk about raising pigs on a farm. This is completely true?
This is all completely true. It is very true. I was in the FFA for a really long time, the Future Farmers of America. This
Congratulations.
is true. And I had lots of pigs, and I was really into sheep. I had like a flock of sheep. I had like 7. I would go to Georgia and like bid on sheep like to take home and breed them and stuff. Like in the 7th grade. I'm not
Wow.
even kidding.
How do you get into that? Is that just something like, oh, I'm around sheep and pigs all day, and this is sort of like you lived on a farm? Like this is what your
Yeah,
family
I
did?
grew up on a farm, so I mean, it's just something you do, I guess.
So
But everyone does.
was it a type of farm where it provided for your family? Like it was your
No, no,
family's
no, no.
business?
We had a horse farm, but we lived in the country, so we didn't have like we had when I was doing that, we had them on our property and stuff. But we had a horse farm. My sister rode Arabians and stuff, so we lived out in the country. So everyone around us, goats and pigs and sheep. So I did it with raising them for like the county fair and stuff.
Okay.
Like every year you would raise them for slaughter.
Okay. I don't know anything about that kind of shit.
You know
I've lived in
what?
buildings my
Well,
whole
it's
life.
the country that people raise animals for the county fair. You go to the county fair and you show your pig.
And people go,
I don't
oh,
know.
that's a good thing. I think what throws me for a loop, and I learned this I learned this a little while ago, well, a long time ago. I worked with this chick. She said she grew up in Florida. This is like maybe 5 or 6, 10 years ago, probably, that I found this out. I had always been under the impression that Florida was like big city, like super, just super big city. And she told me when she grew up in Florida. I forgot where she said, but it was on the west coast of Florida. And she was talking about how they ate like raccoons and squirrels and shit like that. And I was like, what? Like, this is not something that someone like me that has grown up in a big city has ever fathomed having to do. And
It's true.
this is what goes on in Florida, right? Is this still to
Florida,
this
I'll
day?
explain for it to you. I'll explain for it to you.
Please.
Unless you're directly on the coast, it is desolate. You can go 10 minutes if you're on the East Coast, 10 minutes west, or on the West Coast, 10 minutes east, and you go to the middle of the state, and it's desolate. There's nothing there. I lived like 10, 15 minutes from the ocean, and it was just acres and acres of farmland. And that's how all Florida is, like all in the middle, except for like Orlando, which is in the middle. The rest of it's all just trees and crap.
Wow.
That's it.
Why? Like
I don't know. And people always complain that, we cut down all the trees. There's not enough places for people to live. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. There's plenty of people live here.
Is it crazy religious then?
I don't. Where I grew up, it's not religious, but like up in like the Panhandle, I think it gets really religious up there because that's closer to like Georgia and Alabama. Basically, Pensacola is like Alabama and Georgia.
The line of work that you're in, does this? I'm assuming now this is stuff that's going. This is more acceptable on the coastline of Florida, like on.
I would probably say so, but I mean. It's not like I walk around like at the grocery store with saying, "Hey, I suck dick for a living."
That's not all you do for a living. Come on, tell the truth. I love it.
I
I've
would
seen a
like
lot of
to,
stuff.
but I mean,
Okay,
I don't.
so going to California and all that stuff. Okay, wait. Let's talk about this. You're living on a farm. At some point, you have to decide, or that at some point you come to the realization that I'm going to get titties and I'm going to do porn, or how does that transition work? How did going from raising pigs and sheep go to I am now going to live my life as a woman and do pornography?
Well, I was also I danced. I did professional ballet all growing up as well at the same time, and so my first major in college was dance. And I was on a scholarship at New World School of the Arts in Miami. So I moved to Miami, the big city, and there's kind of where, life came about for me. I wound up dancing background for this tranny at a pageant, and then it all kind of snowballed to where that's more of where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be doing whatever else what I was doing at the time. So, it kind of went from there. And the porn thing just came out. I mean, people will tell you whatever reason they get into porn, but I mean, let's face it, there's good money to be made. So, and it's pretty much an economy, is crashing right now, and I can still make money, so I'm not going to complain. So that's kind of where that went. And then the porn, I mean, I like having sex, so I mean, why not get paid for something I like to do? It kind of made sense to me, So that's where it went from there.
Is that something that? What was your getting into? I spoke to Venus Lux most recently. I don't know if you know her. She's rather relatively new in the industry, apparently.
I really know it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay, that's okay. You can look her up. Venus Lux, and she told me a story about how she's dancing at a club. She did a little escorting, and the next thing you know, there's a production company knocking on her door, or coming after her to recruit her into pornography. Did that work? Is that how it worked for you, or were you just like, hey, I'm gonna go after it?
Yeah, no, I went after her. I emailed Isabel, who's the owner of SMC, Shemo Club, and all that stuff. I emailed her, I submitted photos, and then she emailed me and was like, hey, we'd love to have you out to LA. Come on out, blah, blah, blah. And then after I was out there, they were like, hey, we would love to produce a site for you. And I was like, okay, cool. So, it just went from there.
I love it.
So
I love it because it's I thought that was very interesting the route that you went. You said you have a website, right?
right. Yeah, I have a solo site.
Are you in control of that, or is that something that is being controlled by this SMC?
Well, we're a 50-50 partnership. I shoot now, my boyfriend shoots most of my content now, or Danielle Fox. She lives in Florida, sex change girl. She's big in porn. She shoots my content too, so now I don't have to go to LA anymore. So I like that. So I have creative control. They let me do whatever the hell I want. I just submit the content and they put it on there. She's like, it's your site. I don't care what you do.
That's really cool. So you get to do whatever you want. I did go to your website and I did look around, and you obviously are doing whatever you want. It comes off really well. For someone that goes right to your website, the first thing that they're going to see before they have to either pay or to get into it, there's a preview thing, and there's a bunch of crazy bondage stuff going on. Is that your thing?
I mean, I guess maybe. I like it all. I really don't have any barriers when it comes to sex. None that I can really think of offhand. So I like the darker side of sex, I guess, maybe.
Interesting. I don't know. I think the kinkier the better, by the way. So
I agree. I mean, who wants vanilla sex? I mean, that's boring.
Right, and if it's not crazy, it's not sex.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, if it's not crazy, that's my motto. If it's not crazy, I don't want to do it. Or it's boring to me. How long have you been doing pornography now?
Just a year now. Just a little over a year. I went to LA last May.
Oh wow. Okay, so what's your how does a fan base get built in your industry? When you look at I don't want to use the wrong word. I don't know the right word for heterosexual porn stars. What just regular porn stars. You can look at some of them, and there's some that have crazy long careers, and then those are usually the ones that have a name for them. And
right.
Like a brand base. And when it comes to, from what I've gathered by talking to transsexual porn stars, many of them are this is a year, or with Venus Lux, 3 months. And I was like, oh wow, you have a website and you have a fan base, and you're out there pushing yourself to get yourself out there, or you're on your own doing your own thing. You have management, you have all these people working with you, and you've only been doing it for 3 months. Whereas what is the term that I'm supposed to use for porn? Okay, for the sake of this,
regular porn. I don't know.
Straight porn for this. You see,
I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
You see, people that are doing it for years, and they're just they're the third scene in, and they're just right.
Well, I think
other girl.
I think there might be a couple reasons for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been told a lot of times not to put yourself everywhere, especially if you want to have a solo site, because let's face it, who's going to buy your solo site if your ass is everywhere else too, and they can not only get you, but everybody else and their cousin, So I think exclusivity is important to an extent. And also there's regular porn or whatever, it's a bigger pool, there's a lot more people trying, because, you can look around and say, the porn's a really good way to get, or in their line, a lot of porn stars become pretty famous, so girls just, going, and there's a lot more of them. Trannies, it's a little different, I guess. You know, there's a lot of trannies, just maybe not everyone's built the same. You know?
The I happen to think, and I happen to think that like I said, kink is good, and the kinkier the better. I happen to feel as if the transsexual or the tranny sex is what is like the kinky right now. Like heterosexual dudes are gravitating to, wanting to be with the tranny. And
Right.
you believe that, or is that?
I absolutely do believe that. I definitely believe that. I would say because trannies. Well, I can't speak for all trannies, but speaking for myself, I have a very large sexual appetite, so I want to just have sex, and it doesn't necessarily mean to be all that. I'm not trying to generalize or stereotype people with vaginas, but sometimes it's not just sex, there's another part to it. There's an emotional attachment. I don't think a lot of guys, or not all guys, are into that or looking for that at the time. They just want to fuck and that's it. So, trannies are there to offer that service, and we're not complaining about it either.
So, are you down to get with girls too? Like, is that something? Or is it strictly guys for you?
What's interesting, before I ever got into porn, I probably would have said absolutely not, no. But now that I think I'm discovering even more about myself through doing porn, I don't know, it's like a sexual journey, I guess, maybe. And since I've gotten into porn, I have never penetrated a girl, but I did eat out Aaliyah Janine, and I actually did enjoy it. I would do it again. So, 2 years ago, I would say no. Now, yeah, why not? The more the merrier. Why not?
What was it about eating out a vagina that was so awesome for you? And was it her, or was it the eating of a vagina?
I think it might have just been the excitement of doing. It was something different. I've sucked dick left and right. Like a dick is. Not every dick is made the same, but you get it. You suck the dick and it comes, or whatever. You get fucked in the ass and that's that. But I had never been in all up in there. I was new stuff. So it was more. It's exciting. Just like you go suck a dick. Under a bridge or something. That's exciting. More exciting than sucking a dick in your bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah, under the bridge.
Experiences.
Every time I find myself under a bridge, I like to tell everybody about it because it's exciting.
Who doesn't?
Right. So in videos, so you have not penetrated a female? Is that what you're saying?
No, never yet.
So it's something that you would say you would do if you went and did it.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. To me, like as a heterosexual man, when I'm if I'm going to be looking for porn, like I said, I'm looking for kink. I think I personally would like to see a tranny having sex with a female, or a female really fucking loving it. You know what I mean? Like, really like getting like fucking reamed really by fucking
like the meshing of porn, like the best. That's where it's going. That's like everything all at one time. Like what more could you ask for? And I really think I never understood like straight porn. Like you ask a guy like in straight, but they want a guy to have a big fucking dick and all that. I don't really get that. So I just have a dick on a chick. You like titties and all that anyways.
Right.
So why do you have to have this male figure in the straight porn? I don't get that.
I don't understand. I don't like straight porn to me. Like for it's kind of old already for me. Like it's
all about dick though, isn't it?
Yeah,
straight
see that's the thing for me.
Cock.
It's like I don't want to. Like I could rather.
I thought you didn't like dick. That's what you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like when I watch pornography, like if I'm going to watch straight pornography, it's the sound that is going to be like the stimulant there. Like I don't want to see some big buff fucking dude with a giant dick fucking tearing this chick up. Yeah. Because ultimately the idea is like, oh, that's me tearing this chick up, and I don't really want to see some crazy buff dude. But it's kind of nice to see a fucking tranny, big titties fucking the hell out of some chick.
Right, I totally agree.
It's like, oh, watch that shit all day,
Right,
it's
yeah,
like,
because there's more visual. Because you like the rest of what's going on,
Yeah, it's like like you said, the mesh of fucking all the good stuff. Now, here's another question. When it comes to me, the chick For me to be like really excited, it needs to be fat, and the fucking tranny needs to be fat. Are there fat trannies? And I know there's one that's kind of big. I forgot her name, but I've seen her around. And you could do BBW tranny and find them, but you don't see that. You don't see.
Well, I know
them.
a shit ton of them here in Daytona Beach.
Yeah. And are they black? Do you know any black, big, fat trannies?
Yeah. Oh my God. Come to Florida. That's all they are big, black, fat trannies. That's it. Oh my God. There's a million of them. Yeah. You can swim in them,
Well, Florida sounds really good to me.
And it's hot here, so they're all sweaty, too.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Yeah.
So,
I like it, too.
What's that?
I said, I like the sweat, too, I don't want to smell like a clean cock. I don't want to smell your dial or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I am so about smell. Yeah, I am so about smells. Like,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
part of my whole kink, too. Like, if it's clean...
Yeah, what is that? I don't care if
hot.
you're clean.
It's not hot.
That musky smell.
Yeah, it needs to be like don't take a shower.
No,
you know what I mean? It's like, please don't take a shower first.
Yeah.
This is not
don't have shit in your ass, but there's a fine line where
shit all over your face, but come on.
Yeah, I'm not down, but okay, that's why I draw the line. I can't be down for all that.
Okay, this is perfect.
But if I take my dick out of your ass, there's a little something, it's not gonna bother me. I'm gonna wipe it and keep going.
Question, because we're on it. What is it that you won't do?
Well, it depends. Is it for free or for money?
Okay, let's ask both questions. For money, is there anything that you won't do? For
money, I'd be hard pressed. You'd have to shoot me some questions here and see if I would do it or not for money.
Well, I would know what the most craziest thing that one could do. Like if you're taking like dicks in your ass and in your mouth, and it's kind of like there's a point where it's like, what else can you do? But
yeah, that's the thing too.
For money, shit.
I'm like, well, what? How many different things are there to do?
Yeah, it gets to a point where it's like, it's just, do you go bigger dicks or do you go small dicks? You know what I mean?
Or tall. How do you even start that off? I don't even think
shit on your dick. Shit on your dick. This is shit on your dick. You just say, wipe it off and move on.
That happened to wipe, because some girls are like, yeah, that's better too, or whatever. Wipe. Come on, we all do it. But
it comes out of your ass, so when you stick something in your ass.
Sometimes makes you think you gotta go anyway.
Right.
So sometimes what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
What is the worst thing? The worst thing that may have ever happened to you doing a film or in the midst of sex for money?
In the midst of the worst thing?
Yeah, this is, I don't know. Is there anything that's really, like, embarrassing?
Nothing that's really ever stuck out. When I was younger, I used to do the escorting. I don't do that anymore, but when I was younger, I used to do it. And this one old guy would always have me over, but he'd always want me to show up like I was a homeless person, like with like no shoes on, ripped clothes and shit, and like stinky, and then like he would just want to tie me to the bed and like smack my ass. That was it.
That's hot. Like, did you?
To me, I guess looking back at the time when you're like 18, you're like, this is kind of weird, but whatever. But now I'm like, that's easy.
That dude was like crazy at the forefront of it. Yeah, like he was like, you know what I like about?
It's like I could go back to that.
You know what I like about that type of trip is that dude obviously knew exactly what the fuck he wanted.
Yeah,
and that I think is hot. Like if I'm with somebody and they tell me what they want. That is even more hotter. It's like, oh, okay, you know exactly what it takes.
I agree.
Escort. This is awesome. I spoke to Venus Lux. She brought up the escort thing. I went straight to, well, in my book, that's borderline prostitution.
That is fun. Okay.
And a lot of people try to get away from saying that. And I like, there's pornography, completely legal. It's sex for money. Prostitution, sex for money, illegal. It's a fine line between what the two are. It's two consenting adults. One is just filmed, right? Is escorting quasi-prostitution?
Not quasi, it is. They just call it escorting to get around it. Let's not get them on that shit.
I love it.
It is prostitution and finance. What do you call sex for money? Prostitution, not escorting.
Oh, I love it. See, I think that the problem with the world when it comes to prostitution, or here in America, because prostitution isn't such a big deal in a lot of other places in the world, is that people are afraid to call things what they are. And if everybody just were, if everybody was like, look, it's prostitution. Like if I go and I pay some chick to fucking beat the shit out of me, fucking even if it's just, it's prostitution, no matter what it is. And
Right.
I tell people, oh, I just it's my thing. I like to pay for it. That's my kink or whatever. But really, it's prostitution, and and it's people don't like to use the word because it's got such a bad trip, and they always try to get around it. And so you're okay with that word?
Yeah, I think. Well, call it what it is. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
It's prostitution. I mean, I know lots of prostitutes, but I mean, they call it what it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's different because I grew up. I hang out with a bunch of like drag queens and like gay bars and shit here, so they're a little more loud and obnoxious and definitely don't think they're ladies. So they'll tell you what it is. They'll say, I'm sucking dick for money. I got. So.
I love it. What is the type of guy that comes after you? Is there a type of dude that? Huh?
All kinds of guys come after me.
Yeah, that's hot.
All kinds. Every single one of them.
How about military guys? A lot of military guys trying to get on you?
Oh yeah, actually, I work at this bar called this seedy hotel gay bar on A1A on the beach here in Daytona, and it's the birthplace of NASCAR actually. And during one of the races, Yahoo Sports was actually there doing like some article crap, and they wound up taking a picture of me and putting it on Yahoo Sports. And then, like, weeks later, I get this letter to the hotel from some military man in Afghanistan or some bullshit saying, oh, I saw you on Yahoo Sports, blah, 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 all this crap. Can you send me, something or other? And I never did. I forgot to. I meant to, but I never did.
Do you in this article, they weren't like, oh, this is Jonelle Brooks, she's got a penis, though, right?
No. Well, they were saying... The article was really funny. I mean, it was a good... Okay. I thought it was a good article. Okay. But they were like, yeah, this is the birthplace of NASCAR, and now it's just, chicks with dicks running around sweating and belting out Whitney Houston songs, I thought it was a very positive article, though.
Uh-huh. That's what they said? They said it's a bunch of fucking chicks with dicks?
Well, I mean, they
were very like, this is what it's about. That's hot.
That's cool. What it is. Yeah, that's what it's here.
Okay, so military man totally knew. He loved it.
Yeah, he lived.
That's cool. When you say work in a club or a CD bar, what does that mean? Bartender? Hostess? Waitress?
Yeah, waitress. No, I started in like the gay scene, so here in Florida, like drag queens are really big in Florida, really, really big. So, and then there's trannies all in there too. So that's where I started off working and, performing, lip syncing, that's what the drag queens do. We sing other people's songs. And that's where I started just all over the state of Florida, and that's how I met lots of trannies, and they helped me through my transition, all that crap with, hormones, everything, they've been there, done that. So that's how it is here in Florida. I don't know. It's people go through the gay community more here.
Is what the difference between a tranny and the drag queen? The hormones? Is that it?
Oh, a drag queen is just like a man in a dress, It's just like...
It clarify that because I understand exactly what you just said. Like, to me, I get that. Like, I understand that. To most people, they may not understand what the difference is there. Because there could be someone looking at you right now thinking, whoa, what does that mean?
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I have titties, and I had my hips done. I've had lots of other things done. I have surgeries done. Drag queen is just, he lives his life as a man, and on, Saturdays and Sundays, gets really drunk and puts on a dress and sings songs for people. That's a drag queen.
5 o'clock shadow, everything.
Yeah, well, no, there are some really good drag queens. I'm not trying to dog drag queens.
No,
there are some really good drag queens.
There are some really good.
But there are some really not so great drag queens. At the same time, there are some really great trans, and there are really some not so great trans. You know what I mean?
I think that clears it up. I think that pretty much clears it up.
Can we clear it up?
Yeah. Love it. What do you see yourself doing in this pornography industry? Like, where does that go for you? Do you just keep doing it because sex is fun? I'm just fucking making money. I'm going to ride this shit till nobody wants to fuck me no more?
It is fun. And I think it's about building, it's a long-term thing, everything starts off, slow, and it's about being patient with what I'm doing, and really building a really big fan base. I've been offered to do lots of other different things with different companies, but I have declined through the advice of different people in the industry that I look to for mentors. So, I'm slowly building my personal fan base and building, like you said, a brand for myself, so I can take all the revenue for myself as opposed to, posing for someone for one check and then, they collect the profit for the rest of the time I get nothing. So I would prefer I like to shoot my site. I like to shoot the way I shoot and not in studios all the time. I like shooting outside and doing different things. So that's where I see myself with that. As well as I would probably like to eventually get behind the camera too because, let's face it, I'm not going to be pretty forever. So, I would like to learn how to produce as well and more the business side of it also. That's what I want to do.
Cool. That's just generally, generally the direction, it always ends up I want to start making the movies and making all the money, right? That's what I am all about too. I want to make it all and make all the money in the end.
Right, why give it to somebody else?
Right. You mentioned surgeries. What is a hip surgery like? That's just right when you said it, I had my hips done. That right there made me like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
I went to Colombia, to Bogota, and had a plastic surgeon inject PMMA into my ass and my hips to make them wider and bigger in the back.
So the hip surgery is really just adding stuff to make
it's just adding mass. It's injected beneath muscle.
Do you have to get that done over and over again, or is that something that...
It's permanent, but you don't want to do too much at one time because I know these trainings not everyone gets the same thing put in. A lot of girls I know have bad silicone, I don't know what the hell's in there. And they'll pump too much in, and I know this one girl, her hip split open. She has a big old scar here now.
Wow.
Like Home Depot silicone came pouring out her ass or something.
Life ain't easy for the transsexual, is it? Fuck. No, that ain't stuff that, heterosexual girls, you don't hear these. You do. There are, chicks that want big asses and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But for you to be who you want to be, it's almost, you have to do this kind of shit, yeah?
My God, yeah. Unless you want to be narrow stick man with tits. That's icky.
There's a lot of narrow stick men with tits, though, yeah?
What?
There's a lot of narrow stick men with tits.
There are a lot of girls who are, beautiful breasts, even beautiful faces. They get their whole face, and then they never get, injected in the hips and stuff. I never get that. Why go all the way and still look like a man in the body?
The surgeries, your breasts, obviously, are augmented a bit, right? And you probably, your hormones probably help a bit with that as well. How many surgeries have you had, or is this the one?
Well, I've had my hips done twice. Hips and ass done twice. Breasts once. I've had my nose done. My brow bone shaved down, and my eyebrows lifted.
You're in for the long haul. Oh man, the face stuff gotta hurt, right?
It's awful. My nose didn't hurt at all. I had my nose and the brow shaving and the lift all done at the same time last summer. And the brow shaving was excruciating for such a long time because I had 40 staples in my head up here. And they had to rip all the skin and muscle away from the bone and go and literally shave the bone down.
Wow.
And then reattach it all.
You said all this is in Bogota or in Colombia?
No. I got just my ass in Bogota. The rest of it I got done in Coral Gables in Florida, in Miami.
Bogota surgeries. A lot of people, you hear people, shit. Just like me, if I gotta go to the dentist, I'm gonna go to the Philippines or to Mexico. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just a fact of life. It's cheaper and easier to get done somewhere else like that. Is that the reasoning behind that? Going to Bogota, or is this something that they don't do here in America? Because when you said whatever, that was whoa.
PMMA. They do use it in faces for cheeks under the brand Artifil, but it's $1,200 a cc here, and they only do it in the face. And so I have 1,000 cc's. So that's just the astronomical to even do in the United States. So they didn't even do the technique, the hip crap in the U.S.
Because it would just probably nobody would do it because it's so goddamn expensive.
Well, maybe not that, but I don't really know why they don't do it, but they only do it down there.
What do they do in Bogota that you would never ever ask anybody to do in America?
The ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one of my good friends is Colombian, and his whole family, they're from Colombia. They get all the work done there, and they all look like Sofia Vergara from Modern Family. They're all like curvy, shapely women, beautiful, and like, why wouldn't you want to look like that? So
You've gotten a lot of surgeries. A lot of people get addicted to these surgeries. They just can't stop. Do you feel like you're in that position, or do you feel like you have reached sort of your goal in the way
no,
you want to?
no, I'm definitely addicted.
Awesome.
I have to get something done every 6 months. Like, I just had my cheeks refilled and Botoxed everywhere and all the lines and everything filled in on my face. Because I get an itch. And if I don't do something small like that, I'm going to wind up, like, hacking off half my nose or something. Who knows what'll happen? I don't know. But it could be bad.
So what is the next thing you want to do? Like, you have
The next thing on the agenda is to do, I'm doing my jaw, my eyes, and my nose again. And the hairline lower. I'm having hair grafted in my hair.
That's neat. When you as with this addiction, I love this. I'm going to say addiction because everybody has them. I'm an alcoholic. I do drugs. I have addictions, so I sort of know them, and the sort of the driving force behind them. And I kind of know what I want in the future. I like more drugs and alcohol, but with your addiction, do you have a vision of what you're going to look like?
I do have an end-all result. I don't want to be overdone. Everything I've done so far has been very natural and minimal. My nose doesn't look overdone. And I'm just doing things slow. It's just little tweaks and stuff. I know where I'm going with it. People are like, oh, you're doing too much. You're crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I got this. So I know where I'm going with it. I don't want to be overdone. I don't want to look like, some crazy done-up tranny doll either, so... I don't want to look like Amanda Lepore,
I love it. I don't know. I've never had the desire to do anything like that, but it intrigues me a lot when it comes to that addiction. Because
I think once you do it one time, it's over. Because you're like, that's so easy. I went to sleep. I woke up. I had breath. It was amazing. I didn't do anything.
Do you feel like when you get one done, a surgery done, and obviously there's some sort of recovering type pain that's involved, but in that moment, are you like, this is rad, like, love it? Like,
yes, I love I don't know, it's like, when I got my face and my whole face swelled up and couldn't open my eyes or anything, I looked terrible, but I was just so excited because I knew I was going to look sickening,
Awesome.
It was great. I love it. And then when it's all over, you're kind of sad. People get that happens, they say. Plastic surgeons say that you get, like, postpartum. No, I don't want to say post, but it's like you get like the post-surgery blues. They say you get sad because it's all over.
It's done. You want to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what they get sad because you get to know the people in the office so well, and they're so nice to you, and then it's over, and you don't get to see them anymore. It's like, go back and do something else.
Hot. Earlier today, when I posted that I'll be talking to you, I asked if people would ask a question, if they had a question to ask. I saw that you retweeted it, etc. Getting somebody to move on the internet is something to do something is something that I've always found very difficult. It's hard to get somebody to move, and every time I have a guest on, I pose this opportunity for people, and not all the time do I get one, but today we did just get one right off the bat. It was off of probably one of your retweets, but you might have seen it, but I have to ask it. The Twitter user at Candy Apple Alley asked, "Will you have sex with me?" And when me, I'm assuming her.
Will I have sex with the follower?
Yeah, I'm assuming that. I'm assuming it's not me because it's her question.
Right. Well, I try to make a general practice of not having sex with, I don't want to say fans, I say followers or people who like to look at me. Because to me, I feel like if you go and fuck everybody, if you're in porn, and you go and, like when I was watching porn, like they seemed like it's like an ungraspable thing or something. Like they aren't real people. They're in this computer screen and they do all these amazing things. I love it. They dance for me. But once you start then if you're that person, you make yourself available, I don't know, I just feel like it takes that magic away. Like, what if you could just, like, call up Julia Roberts and say, hey, come on over for dinner? You know, I mean, it's like the magic wouldn't be there anymore. So I try not to fuck the people that like jerking it to me, because then I feel like if you meet me, you're not gonna think I'm sexy anymore. 'Cause I don't really think I'm a sexy person. You know, I'm more like silly and stupid and kind of trashy. So I feel like let's keep
Love it.
this screen here. You know,
Uh-huh.
and you want to jerk it still.
That's cool. Is that something that you came upon yourself, or is this something of some advice that was given?
This is something I just came upon
Yeah.
myself. I mean,
I learned that lesson, what you're talking about, the hard way. Like, I thought when I first started putting myself out there, I thought
uh-huh,
that, the people, my fans, I made some of them sort of elevated them to like friend level.
right.
And it got weird. It
Yeah.
gets really weird. And I have gotten to the point where I separate the two. Like
Yeah, I think
if you like what I'm doing, then cool, thank you, I love it. Keep up the good work.
right.
But I'm not. I don't want to see
Yeah,
you
I
at the
don't think it's
club.
good to use it as a platform to
Yeah,
go and then
right.
bang people.
I totally
There's
understand.
plenty of people elsewhere to bang, you know what I mean?
So, what you're saying is Candy Apple Alley. Sorry, no sex.
Sorry.
Keep jacking
No.
off to you though, right? I love it.
But let happy stroking and use some lube,
Yeah.
because it's not pretty if you don't.
Yeah, yeah. I do ask certain questions of every guest. I don't know if you've watched any of the interviews that I do. If not, I do ask a few questions. There's 5 of them that I ask everybody that I have on because I think that they're questions they're questions that I want to know about people.
Real stuff.
First one, ready? First one. Are unicorns overrated?
No, have you ever seen that movie, The Last Unicorn?
Like 1,000 fucking times.
Hello, I think that pretty much sums that question up.
Yeah, thank you. Love it. Okay, love it. Nobody ever watched that but me and you, but that's okay. Favorite alcoholic beverage?
Canned beer.
Is that a Florida thing?
It's not an everywhere thing?
No, it is, but you said
Nobody
canned
told me
beer.
that.
Like it has to be in a
People
can.
drink out of cans.
Yeah,
I don't like expensive alcohol, so do not give me. Why would you spend all the money on alcohol? It all goes to the same place, you know.
I love it. What is the cheapest? Like if you're going, like I said, it's got to be dirty. So like like the cheaper the better, really. In my, when it comes to like wine and shit like that, I don't want it to be expensive. I want it to be cheap.
Walmart makes one for $2.97. Hello.
And that's the one you gravitate to that.
Yeah, it's Oak Ridge or something like that. They make all the flavors.
All the flavors. I love it. Have you ever been so drunk that you fell down?
Can't even count how many times that has happened. Many times.
What is the weirdest thing about you?
The weirdest thing about me? Oh, I know. I'd like to, I talk to my cats or people in the room in languages that I make up. I like to think that I speak many languages, but I do not, in fact, speak any languages but my own, barely. So I like to pretend I do. So I hear, how Spanish sounds, because I listen to the Spanish radio station driving around, so people think I'm Spanish and I speak Spanish, So I like to pretend and whatever, it's just to make the sounds, all the time.
So can you give us an example of that?
That's Korean.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's real Korean.
That's pretty much genuine Korean.
That was like half of the vocabulary of Korean, by the way. That was pretty good.
I know.
Here in Hawaii, there's a very large Korean community, and it's like, oh, okay, I've heard all of that before.
Yeah.
But usually it's like sounds like they're yelling at you. But yeah, you got that one under control. And what's your favorite curse word?
My favorite word?
Cursed word, like your
curse word?
Yeah.
Oh, would be fuck, I would have to say. I curse a lot, like a sailor.
Me too.
A lot.
I'll be at places and people will tell me, whoa, dude, slow down, like it's starting to get really...
I curse a lot, a bunch. But that's just how I was raised.
Yeah, that's cool. Those are those questions, but I want to touch back on this make your own language thing. When you were talking about when you're driving down the street, you listen to Spanish because you want people to think that you probably are Latina. In Florida, there's obviously, from what the rest of the world is told, there is a very large Hispanic community. This is true, right?
Yeah.
Is that why?
No, has nothing to do with that.
What
I
is it
could care less.
about? What is it about being seen as a Latina that?
I think it's more interesting.
Yeah.
I just think it's more interesting, and a lot of people always ask me, all the time people ask me if I'm Latin. So I just figured I might as well just go with it,
Right.
I like pulling up to gas stations and have it on, and people are like, oh, look, I think it's fun to be ethnic, I think we're so boring. Like, I wish I was, I really do. Like, I wish I could speak another language and be like, and have that fun little accent all the time, but I don't have that. I can just pretend.
Do guys that you're with want you to, like, say shit like Poppy and stuff like that?
Oh, I'll say anything anybody wants me to say.
What is the craziest thing someone's asked you to say?
I hate these crazy questions because I don't think anything's crazy.
Right. Okay.
What
I don't
know what's crazy. I don't have a very good meter of that, I guess. I don't know.
I'm in the same boat. Like, it's always, well, tell me what is crazy, because, someone telling me to, like, hang upside down, that's fun. It's just, like, part of, you know what I mean? Like, but some people will think it's crazy. What is the, crazy, I guess, is not the right word for people like us in our world. But, what would be something that someone else would think was something extreme, I guess?
People, ask me, they always want you to act like a child. I don't know, I'm not trying to condone, all the time.
Wow.
All the time. All the time. And a lot of webcam sites won't allow you to do that,
Like what? Be like baby talk? Or, like, they want you to act like a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy things. Like, one time, this guy just wanted me to sit there and just put my lipstick on.
Wow.
Like, what is that?
I get it.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy, but people just want you to do silly things.
Fun. That's fun. So do you do the cam stuff?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I noticed that a lot of people are doing the Skype thing, too, like, where they've just done it where I control it all. You put some money in the PayPal, connect with me on Skype. Is that something that you do as well? Or
no, I don't
do
do that. I don't do that because then someone can just go and cancel their credit card payment. Hello.
Oh, that's right. See, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're pretty smart, yeah? You got the business side of it under control.
Yeah.
Hot. What's next for you then? Like, just more porn?
I don't know. It's exhausting. I hate to sound lazy, but
What is it that you...
making porn is exhausting, and it's not something I can do forever. It's definitely not something I want to do forever. It's not something I want to do forever. I would like to have my finger in the basket, but that I don't want that to be my main source of income. Forever.
Have you ever thought about doing, like, is acting something that you want to do? No. Yeah.
I think it is. I mean, I would not be able to. I like to stay home. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not an exciting person. I don't want to have to go out and do all that. That sounds like so much work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I could sit in the house all day.
Yeah,
just sit in the house and get drunk all day. It's fine with me.
I'd rather order a pizza.
God. If people want to find you online, where are they going to go?
They better go to JonelleBrooks.com. Or I'm always on Twitter. But not Facebook, because that's my personal Facebook, y'all. And that's why I'm not friending you back.
Very smart. I got rid of the Facebook because of that. Like, the people, like, I would get, like, oh, I want to be a friend. I want to be a friend.
Yeah.
That was part of my whole, that's, like, counter to everything that I was about.
So I just have, like, high school friends.
That's cool. What do people, before I let you, what do people from high school, obviously you weren't Jonelle Brooks your whole life.
Yeah.
What do people that know you other than Jonelle Brooks think of Jonelle Brooks, and or do they? Like, do a lot of...
They all know. I'm so close with a lot of friends from high school, and they're all very supportive. And nothing's really different. I mean, I still act the same. So I just have tits and a different face. So, it's not... Nothing's different, really.
Right. Is there anything else that you want to tell the world, or Hawaii for that matter? Anything before I let you go?
Hawaii? I've always wanted to go to Hawaii.
That's where we're at. That's where we're on TV.
My sister lives in Samoa.
Oh wow, that's hot. Never been.
Yeah.
How does your sister get to Samoa? This is a good question.
How did she get there?
Yeah.
Her husband works for something USDA.
Oh, okay.
He helps them plant things.
So he's a white dude.
He's not a white dude,
Oh,
no.
okay. Um,
He's
not
Venezuelan.
okay. He's not. He's obviously not Samoan though, right? See, I thought, oh,
No.
my next logical question is like, wow, fucking Samoan cats are big dudes.
Yeah,
Fucking.
no.
So what is there anything else that you want to tell the world?
I can't really think of anything. I mean, I had a great time.
Cool.
I gotta pee a little bit,
Okay.
but
Well, let's let you go do that. But before you do, will you cut a little bumper like, "Hey, this is Jonelle Brooks. You're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker" for me?
sure. Well,
Okay. Feel free.
hey y'all, it's Jonelle Brooks. You're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker.